and welcome to A Merry Space with Niece. I'm Bernice Lowflowers and thank you for joining. How comfortable are you with stepping into the unknown, or should I say, stepping out of your comfort zone? Well, not too many of us are comfortable with being uncomfortable. No one likes being uncomfortable, though a bit of discomfort or uneasiness is okay because it helps us to improve our creativity and learn in the long run. We all have our limits for being uncomfortable, and that cutoff point varies from person to person. The higher your threshold, the more comfortable you are with being uncomfortable. What's the difference between comfortable and uncomfortable? We all know that when we are comfortable, we are relaxed, we feel confident, look the part, show expressions of joy, love, appreciation, all those nice things. However, when we are uncomfortable, we express feelings of anxiety, fear, sadness, and sometimes anger may well take over. I believe that being uncomfortable is something that we should all embrace since it's the key to favorable or desired outcomes. Putting ourselves in unfamiliar situations is good, especially if we want to challenge ourselves to grow, expand our mind and thought processes. So why not be willing to endure some discomfort, venture into new territories if we want to bloom, right? When I decided to focus on this subject, I asked a few people if they felt comfortable being uncomfortable in new surroundings. Some said they are very comfortable with being uncomfortable in unfamiliar settings because when they are uncomfortable, it challenges their ability to step up and do things they never dreamt of doing. They are more expressive, expand their outreach, and acquire new skills. They feel more confident making decisions. They are more assertive enough to take on more difficult assignments, which help them to develop personally, professionally, and even socially. While those who are not comfortable with being uncomfortable in familiar surroundings say the opposite, and this is why. Whenever they are in social settings and don't know anyone in the room, they feel nervous, have difficulty making small talk, avoid eye contact because they sense some people's eye contact are more like a stare. Their body language comes across as snobbish, condescending, so they are turned off because these behaviors that make them feel very self-conscious, intimidated, and uncomfortable, they're not good. Also, some people may feel uncomfortable being comfortable, especially if they experience an unwelcome act where someone creates a situation that makes them feel uneasy, offended, bullied, or humiliated. Many of us become quite comfortable, relaxed, and accustomed to keeping or doing things the same old easy-peasy way. We keep our lips sealed tightly, accept existing conditions, and go with the flow because we don't want to be bothered or rack our brains to think very hard, so we remain emotionally stagnant. However, if you want to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, which leads to better confidence and success, you'll need to step up your game and stretch your limits. Don't be afraid to put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you'll be challenged and begin to speak hard truths when necessary because you no longer feel threatened or awkward. Guess what? If you always stay in your comfort zone and avoid situations where you might fail or be uncomfortable, then there is no way for you to grow as an individual. Now and then, we need to take risks and challenge ourselves because if everything is too easy going all the time, we'll feel like we're operating on autopilot and not going. Don't join the easy crowd. You won't grow. Don't become comfortable like some folks who stay where they are in their situation regardless of how despondent they are. They'll tell you in a minute or admit that they are miserable, yet they refuse to be uncomfortable for just a little bit to change their situation, so they stay there and whine. Don't go there. It takes some people longer than others to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You'll never hear successful people who made it big say, I hit it right the first time. If they did, take it with a grain of salt, because it's not likely. It takes time for some folks to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. They may share their many failures experienced before they succeeded, which means despite feeling awkward or at ill ease, they didn't mind being uncomfortable to get comfortable. They knew what they wanted regardless of whom stood in their way. So we really have to bite the bullet and stretch ourselves if we want to develop and succeed. Let me ask this question. When you are in a strange setting, are you comfortable or are you scared? Being uncomfortable is a normal and healthy part of life that can be avoided. It happens to all of us at one time or another, because when something is new or different, we all experience some degree of discomfort. Then after a while, we usually adapt to this situation after getting used to it. However, if you are scared, worried, anxious, or feel extremely uncomfortable, it might be best to avoid the situation at all costs or back off for a while. Embracing discomfort wouldn't be easy, but it's necessary if you want to experience personal development. The only time we are really growing is when we are uncomfortable, especially if we want to grow or change situations. The first step is to identify the things that make you uncomfortable and knowing how they make you feel. This allows you to decide what type of experiences to seek out to help you learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Know the unique triggers that make you uncomfortable and face those challenges instead of turning away, since this is the best way to learn and grow. If you are a shy person, at first, it will be difficult to feel comfortable in new situations. But as time goes along, feeling comfortable in uncomfortable situations becomes easier because you have learned from your blunders and experiences and know how to navigate circumstances. The key here is by doing and practicing. Get comfortable being different. Be yourself. Embrace, standing out instead of trying to be like everyone else. You don't have to fit in with the crowd. When you try to fit in, you could lose some of your values, beliefs, abilities, and will likely be required to follow what others think blindly. We are all different. We are at all different levels in our development, and we all grow at our own pace. Don't compare yourself to other people. Instead, focus on your own personal growth. When you are in uncomfortable situations, do you ask yourself, is this situation a physical threat that could harm me? Can I tolerate being uncomfortable for just a minute? Or what can I learn from this discomfort? Okay, should you decide to embrace a good challenge, select comfortable with being uncomfortable as one of them. The journey will be rewarding. As the saying goes, be willing to be uncomfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. Though it could get tough, it's just a small price to pay for living a dream. That's it for now, and thanks for listening to A Merry Space with Nisee. Remain safe, healthy, and feel free to share your comments at amerryspacewithnicee@yahoo.com.